You know, this first and foremost, this channel was to really talk about political issues affecting our country. And I know that in these days, among most Americans, it's not popular to be patriotic. But I am. And I'm patriotic for what this country once was with all its warts, because no country has ever been perfect, but there is a reason why the whole wide world has wanted to come to America. And so I listened to Joe Biden's address, I believe, a week ago. And now, first of all, for those of you, this whole Democrat Republican thing is a false narrative. Um, the Democrats and the Republicans have a lot of things in common. Okay? One, they're both warmongers. They both support the military industrial complex on behalf of a nation in the Middle East called Israel. Falsely so called, because they're not the biblical Israel. But anyways, they also support the Federal Reserve banking system, and we are now trillions of dollars in debt where we had a surplus before the Federal Reserve was instituted in 1913. So Joe Biden is basically gaslighting conservatives, and of course they use the MAGA thing. That's just a gimmick. The whole MAGA thing, Trump is a gimmick. And the fact of the matter is, the MAGA crowd was just used as a tool to put the bad mouth on those who are patriotic, Christian, of which I'm both. And so now you have Joe Biden in his speech basically putting the target and bullseye on the back of people that are conservative and patriotic. And I wouldn't say I'm conservative. I'm a nationalist. I'm a Christian. And so basically it's a declaration of war. And what you have to realize, friends, is whether you like this country or not, it was built on freedom. Again, it wasn't perfect. I know that. I'm not going to get into all that because I only have a few minutes here. But it was built on freedom. And it's a constitutional republic, not a democracy. And there are patriots that still believe in that concept of a constitutional republic. There are patriots that are not going to be bullied by some gutless politician in Washington, D.C. Because, see, the problem is people are easily influenced by the Talmud vision. Okay, that electric thing that's in your living room that is used to spew propaganda and to control you, Madison Avenue marketing, New World Order propaganda. A lot of people are influenced and controlled by that. But you have to think for yourself. You have to know your history. Okay? So over the last 2.5 years, we had the whole lockdown situation. We had rumors of mandatory jabs. There were people losing their jobs over that. I'm sorry, but this country is not rooted in that type of tyrannical behavior, tyrannical government. See, the problem is too many people fear their government. The government needs to fear the people. Because this is a country for the people, by the people. And see, people that are patriotic are not the problem. Okay? It's the parasites that want to just suck everything out of this country. Send your children to war to fight for a nation in the Middle East that is the one behind the New World Order, that is the one behind the United Nations. See, these parasites, these politicians, and I'm even talking local politicians, military industrial complex, or the Federal Reserve banking system, so you can get your GOI tokens. Everybody's happy as long as they have their GOI tokens. We don't care if there's drag queen story hour, there's LGBTQ being celebrated and normalized, which is a dysgenic sexual behavior. Everybody knows that. So is it really extreme to say that that is something that should be avoided at all costs? It's something that we should not promote dysgenic sexual behaviors, perversions to children. Those are the ones being labeled as extreme. Not Antifa. Antifa is being celebrated. They are a Jewish Marxist organization. They're the real terrorists. They're the ones that Joe Biden should be warning the country about. But there are men and women that will not rest easy and are willing to die to bring this country back to its constitutional roots. And Christian roots, because whether you like it or not, this country was founded, not perfect. There are Masonic things, but originally founded on Christian roots. See, too many Christians want to turn the other cheek, not knowing what Jesus meant by that. Too many Christians want to have a slave morality. But there is room for Christians standing up and fighting for what's right. And Joe Biden, Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, just remember this. There's a thing called the day of the rope.